Welcome back. Many area schools are beginning the year with virtual learning. Today, ways parents can maximize the education your kids are getting online and at home. Dr. Melissa Westendorf is the founder of the Technology Wellness Center. She is here with a plan for success. Hi, Dr. Westendorf.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. It's great to see you. And I want to acknowledge that not all schools are online. Some are doing a hybrid thing.
Right.
So I just wonder what your thoughts are with all that's going on with schedules, some in person, some virtual, some a hybrid.
It's going to be really complicated for parents. I know in my own household, I have two different versions going on. And so it's going to take, unfortunately, some strategic planning on parents' part to, help get their kids through this next school year.
I think so, too. First, related to masks and being in person. So kids who are going full time or they're going part time and they're showing up in person at school. Do you have any suggestions there?
Yeah, I know that it's really important that kids not touch their masks, not take them off. That's been a lot of discussion around there. And so I'd encourage parents to have their kids start wearing their masks around the house now, getting a couple different kinds if you can, and just have the kids wear them. Maybe if you're going to give them screen time, say you have to wear a mask while you're getting your screen time right now before the school year starts. But just to get them used to having it on their face. I think will help them transition to when they have to have it on their face for a very long time in school.
I think that's a great point. My daughter just did registration the other day and said she wore a mask for a half an hour. And she said, I couldn't breathe. And I thought, well, just wait. Yeah, until you're there all day. What about the home-based portion of school? As a technology expert, what are your thoughts about how we can set them up for success?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that just in my own house because I know we were all pushed into it very early in the spring and we just sort of made do. And so I've been trying to be more thoughtful. And I think an important part is to get your kids set up in a routine. Now they're going to have the school session, and for some it's only going to be really a half a day. Some it'll be a little bit longer, but trying to get a routine because your kids are actually very used to routine during the school day, whether it's a sport after school or a choir. Just trying to help them establish a routine is one. And then a second one is really to get them a workspace that they can sit at all day long that's ergonomically correct. We may have, and I was at fault with this too. I let my kid, sometimes they had to be on the bed or because we were all scrambling, like, what are we going to do? So now, if we can be thoughtful about where they're sitting and where we can strategically place them in a good or decent chair that's comfortable with the computer at the right height. And, you can find all sorts of resources about where the computer screen should be and the camera. But just to help with that, like a little home-based school environment for them.
I want to talk about collaboration, and I'm using that word. There's so many teachers and administrators very concerned about cheating and academic dishonesty, I think is a word that they tend, or the phrase they use. Collaboration is a good thing. I think about how often as an adult we collaborate at work. It's not cheating. We're just all helping each other come up with the best solution. But it's not, of course, seen that way in school. So I'm very interested in your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be tough because it is probably easier to do it, the cheating if they're going to be virtual. And so again, I think having conversations with your kids, I'm all about, you just have to have a conversation with your kid, especially once you get to high school. These kids are going to have to make their own choices about what they want to set themselves up for college or for their next job or whatever they're going to be doing in the future. I think you can have some structured collaboration. I know in my family with one of my kids, we're going to get together for math, just a couple extra times a week. And so I kind of view that as a collaboration, just ensuring that they're learning the material, that they're going through it, sort of a going through it again. So I see collaboration being useful in that aspect to help reinforce some of the things. If you have families in the area or other kids in the classroom that have, that are able to do that with you and your family.
Yeah, I think some important guidelines need to be set before school. Do you think it's a good idea? You mentioned cameras. Are you a fan of Zoom, for example, where teachers can see the student during virtual learning time and students can maybe see other classmates on the screen?
Yeah, I think it, it can be useful in a couple ways too. It makes you part of the environment. Even though they're all at different places, they are together in this virtual room, correct? And the other thing is that it still tells a child, I have to present for school. I have to, dress for success, so to speak. We talk about in the business world. This is again sort of a dressing for success, meaning I'm going to be prepared to present. I mean, we may have Zoom meetings in our future for a very, very long time. And so just getting them to practice that. And I think it can be helpful. And when teachers are able to see their students, it can be helpful that way. But a second way is, it helps teachers check in with how students are doing. Visually, they can see how they're doing. Are they getting, sleep? Does it seem as though they're interacting in the Zoom meeting? So, it gives some visual cues for teachers just to check in with their students.
I told my 17-plus-year-old son that I was going to mention this today. We ran out of time, but experts seem to agree that we should limit screen time. But I shared this study with you that they say one of the more useful types of screen time is gaming because it's seen as being more social and strategic. He was like, oh, yeah, that's the best study I've ever seen. But there is some element.
It's actually, yeah, absolutely. There is some element. And all I'd say is put it on a television. Don't game on your, I still have a problem with the phone gaming because it's so small and it's just really hard on the eyes. So plop it up on the big screen TV and game. It is the way that kids have been able to stay social during this time. And so that is helpful.
You might be his best and favorite guest ever, Dr. Westendorf. Right. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure,
Appreciate
absolutely.
It. All right, you can learn more about Dr. Westendorf and the Technology Wellness Center by going to our website, themorningblend.com.